I have a toy called Climbing Monkey, and you put a string through and you pull the thing in turn, and the thing goes up against the law of gravity. So I use that to illustrate the strength of paradox and the counterintuitive nature of paradox. I find that quite useful. I would like to cut straight to trade books. I'd like to write a book on paradox that really appeals to the educated layman. So many of our current problems, like the environment and etc., are essentially paradoxical. That it's time to make an appeal to the general public. But again, we must start with successes and then show that the successes are the result of
paradoxical thinking. Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk, who's been misbehaving himself lately, but a year ago he gave his electric engine to the entire industry, which is a sort of a gift and most unbusinesslike. But if you identify with the whole electrical car industry and you wanted to defeat the internal combustion engine as soon as possible, then it's a very sensible move. You give the stuff away and you organize the entire electrical car industry to overcome the internal combustion engine. So again, if you look at altruism, egoism, he's being on the surface apparently very altruistic in giving away his engine free, but in fact he knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to redound to his own advantage. So it's that sort of. I collect examples of excellent behavior and I feed it back. People don't want to be paradoxical necessarily, they do want to be excellent. So start with excellence and explain it by paradox. We have a problem with it because Aristotle said you couldn't have two things at the same place at the same time. And we think of values as things. And if we think of values as things, then they can't occupy the same space. So Aristotle got us off to a bad start. And we've been tumbling over that problem ever since. I'm afraid the Chinese have worked it out. The yin-yang is a mountain mist going backwards and forwards across a mountaintop, and that's a process. That's not a thing. And I think their yin-yang is partly responsible for their success. And then, of course, quantum physics is almost entirely ambiguous. You have waves and particles, and if you use a particle detector, you find a particle. If you use a wave detector, you find a wave, and you can only look at one at the same time. You can't look at both at the same time. You have to choose. But virtually all our new technologies, lasers, microchips, computers, all run off quantum physics principles. So it really is taking over the world. The particle doesn't exist until you try and measure it.
Yeah.
And the wave doesn't exist until you try and measure it.
Yeah.
These are not events out there. There is no external event. These are interactions.
Yeah.
Us and whatever's out there. So
yeah.
It's basically interactive. The two sides of the paradox must engage each other before you can understand anything.